Okay, let's get into this. I have to say, when I first started going through the research for today's deep dive, I thought I was reading a script for some sci-fi movie. We've talked about biohacking, we've covered longevity, but this is on another level.
It is absolutely on another level. We're
Yeah.
talking about the 2026 Immortality Protocol
Huh.
from Bryan Johnson. And I know, when you hear immortality, you kind of roll your eyes.
Right.
You think of billionaires freezing their heads, that kind of thing. But Johnson's whole approach, the data transparency, the sheer rigor of it, it's really hard to ignore.
And we are going to get into the heavy stuff, the AI connection, his whole
Mhm.
don't die philosophy, and some therapies that are just,
Mhm.
I mean, saunas and ice packs, it gets wild.
It does.
But we have to start with the one statistic that just jumps off the page. A new personal record for him. And just to be clear, it's not his bench press.
No, it's not his 5K run time either. It's his record for nighttime erection duration, 3 hours and 49 minutes specifically.
3 hours and 49 minutes. Now, let's be honest. My first reaction was to kind of laugh. It just sounds like this weird humble brag about libido.
Of course.
But he's not posting this on a dating profile. He's treating this like a serious scientific benchmark. Why?
Because context is everything. Yeah. Okay, so if you take an elite 18-year-old, I mean, peak health, hormones just raging, their average is about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
And Johnson is almost 50, so he's beating the elite teenager by over an hour.
Exactly. He is what you'd call super physiological. He's functioning better than new.
But the key here, and this is the insight for anyone listening, is that you shouldn't think of this as a sex metric.
Right. It is not about that at all. He calls it the canary in the coal mine. It's his body's check engine light.
Okay, break that down for me. Why that specific function? Why isn't resting heart rate the canary?
Because nighttime erections are biologically very expensive. They require this perfect symphony of systems. You need your cardiovascular system to be pristine, your nervous system has to be calm, your hormones have to be balanced.
And you need deep sleep to sustain it.
You need deep REM sleep. If any of those things are off, even a little bit, you're stressed, your arteries are a bit clogged, you didn't sleep well, your body just cuts the function, it's the first thing to go.
It's an energy-saving move.
Precisely. The body's basically saying, look, we're in survival mode here.
Yeah.
We can't afford this right now. We're just keeping the lights on. So if you're not having them, it's a huge red flag for systemic decline.
So the erection is just the scoreboard. It's the output.
Yes.
The real game is what he's doing to get that score. The inputs, this is his whole don't die philosophy. And the routine is, well, extreme doesn't quite cover it.
It is extreme, but it's also, incredibly logical once you buy into his core ideas.
Yeah.
We're going to break it down into 3 pillars. The sleep foundation, then the extreme therapies,
That's the ice part.
that's the ice part, and finally the psychological operating system he uses to actually stick with any of this.
Let's start with sleep. Because, everyone says get 8 hours. That's not new advice. Johnson treats it less like rest and more like, I don't know, an Olympic sport.
That's a perfect way to put it. He calls it the most important thing. But the real insight here is this sociological idea he has. He calls it status inversion.
I loved this part. It felt so true. Because right now in our culture, if I say to you, man, I only got 4 hours of sleep, I was just grinding, the reaction is usually respect.
Totally. Wow, you're a machine. You're so dedicated. Sleep deprivation is high status. It's a badge of honor.
The whole I'll sleep when I'm dead thing.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Johnson says we have to flip that completely, 180 degrees. He wants a world where saying, I didn't sleep, is just embarrassing.
Like having mustard on your shirt in a big meeting.
He says it should be worse. It should be like saying, I forgot to wipe. He wants it to signal like biological incompetence.
Yeah.
If you're sleep deprived, your brain doesn't work, you're emotionally unstable, you're a liability, not a hero.
So sleep becomes the ultimate status symbol. Okay. But his protocol for achieving that, I mean, he aims for a resting heart rate of 39 beats per minute before he even falls asleep.
39 to 40, yeah. For context, that's Lance Armstrong territory. That's an elite athlete.
And to get there, he has to completely control his metabolism.
This is the big takeaway. Digestion is work. It's physiological labor. When you eat, your heart rate goes up to deal with the food. And if your heart is busy digesting, it can't drop into that deep restorative state. So he eats his last meal of the day at 11:00 a.m.
11 in the morning. So if he's in bed by 9 p.m., he's been fasting for 10 hours.
That's right. He wants zero metabolic work happening when he's trying to sleep. He wants all that energy going to repair.
Okay, I have to push back here. An 11:00 a.m. dinner is basically social suicide, right? No friends, no family dinners. Is that actually doable for anyone who isn't a tech millionaire?
He admits it's the gold standard, not the standard for everyone. But the principle is what matters. He recommends at least a 4-hour gap for most people. Bed at 11 p.m. Stop eating by 7 p.m.
Okay, 4 hours I can do. That's more reasonable.
You'll see a huge difference in your sleep data just from that.
But then there's the wind down, 60 minutes, no screens.
And it's not just the screens, it's the light itself.
Wow.
No blue light, no white light. He uses red and amber lights. But he says the hardest part isn't even the light, it's the withdrawal.
The dopamine withdrawal.
Exactly. People panic when the phone goes off. They just feel bored and then anxious, and then the to-do list starts running through your head.
Which brings me to my favorite part of all this research, the Committee of Bryans. Because willpower, it's a limited resource. So how does he stop himself from scrolling?
He dissociates. He realized Bryan isn't just one guy. It's a committee of different people with different wants.
Okay, walk me through the committee. I think I have these guys in my head too.
Oh, we all do. So you've got ambitious Bryan. He's the one who wants to stay up till 2 a.m. solving the world's problems. Then there's anxious Bryan, who's replaying something awkward you said earlier.
And party Bryan, who wants a glass of wine and Netflix.
Definitely. And those guys are loud, they usually win. So Johnson created a manager for them. He calls him Sleep Bryan. And Sleep Bryan is basically the bouncer of his mind.
I love that. A bouncer at the velvet rope of your consciousness.
It's such a great psychological hack. Sleep Bryan's job is to gently fire the others for the night. He'll say to ambitious Bryan, hey, love the energy, but you're off the clock. I'll write that idea down. You can hit it fresh at 6 a.m.
So it's not a fight, it's a negotiation.
Yes. If you try to fight yourself, you always lose. You have to acknowledge that anxious part, soothe it, and tell it, we'll deal with this tomorrow. Otherwise, it wakes you up in a panic at 3 in the morning.
Before we move on from sleep, the melatonin thing. He takes it, but the dose is tiny.
300 micrograms. It's a microdose.
Yeah, the gummies you buy at the store are like 5 or 10 milligrams.
Which is a horse tranquilizer dose, really. He's not trying to knock himself out. His logic is, as we age, the pineal gland calcifies, it makes less melatonin. He's just topping it up to what an 18-year-old's body would make naturally.
It's precision, not just brute force.
That's his whole philosophy.
Okay, foundation established. Sleep is number one. But now we have to get into the extreme therapies. This is where I started physically wincing when I was reading the sauna protocol.
Yeah, this is where the data on toxins gets really interesting. He uses a dry sauna. He's very specific. Infrared isn't hot enough. 200 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's about 93 Celsius. That is incredibly hot for 20 minutes.
Every single day. But the heat isn't the weird part. It's what he wears.
The ice packs. We have to explain this.
It's a very vivid image. He wears cotton underwear and shorts, and he tucks ice packs right up against his testicles while he's in that 200-degree heat.
Okay, why? I mean, from a biological perspective, what on earth is the logic there?
It's a trade-off. He needs that intense heat to sweat out toxins and activate heat shock proteins. But heat is the absolute enemy of sperm and testosterone production.
Right. They're outside the body for a reason. To stay cool.
So he's protecting the payload, as he calls it. He's basically cooking his body but keeping the family jewels on ice.
Does it work? I mean, is he just torturing himself?
The data is pretty staggering. After the LA wildfires, his body was loaded with toxins just from the air. He says the sauna protocol annihilated them. But the real headline was microplastics.
Which are in everything now. Our water, our food.
In our reproductive systems, he got a greater than 90% reduction in microplastics in both his blood and his semen. He says it's a world-first demonstration of that. And because of the ice packs, his fertility markers are 6 to 10 times higher than elite levels.
Wow. So he basically turned himself into a human water filter.
In a way, yeah. He's manually doing the detox that our bodies are struggling to keep up with in the modern world.
And then there's the hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or HBOT. I've only heard of this for divers with the bends.
This is a huge commitment. 60 sessions over 90 days, an hour and a half each time, sitting in a pressurized tube, breathing pure oxygen.
The pressure is the key, right?
Yes. The pressure dissolves oxygen directly into your blood plasma. It forces it into tissues that don't normally get great circulation, which kicks off this massive healing response.
But isn't too much oxygen dangerous?
It can be. Oxygen toxicity is a real thing. So he has this specific rhythm, 20 minutes with the mask on, 5 minutes off, to get the benefit without the risk.
And the results.
Huge skin rejuvenation, better than lasers, he says. But internally, he had zero detectable inflammation. His C-reactive protein, the main inflammation marker, was practically non-existent.
And inflammation is the root of almost all aging. So if you have none, you're not aging in a way.
You're not. But he's realistic about this. He knows most people can't spend 90 minutes a day in a hyperbaric chamber. It's more about proving what's biologically possible.
Which brings us to the big why. Why do all this? Why freeze yourself in a sauna? It sounds like so much suffering. But for him, it's not vanity. It's a philosophy he calls don't die.
And this is where it connects to artificial intelligence. Johnson is convinced that AI is the writing on the wall. He thinks we're heading for a period of change so rapid and unpredictable our biology can't handle it.
He called it civilizational psychosis.
Yeah, it's a heavy phrase. He just means the world is going to change faster than our nervous systems can possibly adapt. We're already seeing the beginnings of it. Right. So he thinks we need a new goal. Our current goal is capitalism. Get money, get power.
And he wants to change the objective of the game.
He wants to change it to simply don't die. Sounds basic, but it's really about game theory. If you're out of the game, you can't play. In a world of exponential change, the only winning strategy is to stay in the game as long as possible. Existence becomes the highest virtue.
So don't die is a survival strategy for the age of AI.
That's it. And to survive, you need agency. That's the core of his mental model. He sees algorithms and food companies constantly trying to puppet our behavior to hijack our dopamine.
So when you eat the junk food, you're not just making a bad choice. You're losing your agency.
Yes. And this goes right back to the Committee of Bryans and this idea of the unreliable narrator.
Right. Evening Bryan. I know that guy.
We all know Evening Bryan. It's 7:30 p.m., you're tired, and he says, you had a tough day. You deserve that pint of ice cream. We'll start again tomorrow.
And Evening Bryan is so convincing. His arguments are great.
He's a great lawyer. But Johnson realized Evening Bryan is a liar. He's an unreliable narrator driven by fatigue and cravings.
Yeah.
So Johnson did something radical. He fired him.
He just revoked his own permission to make those decisions at night.
He stripped that version of himself of all authority. Evening Bryan is not allowed to make food choices, period. That decision was made by Morning Bryan, who is rested and rational.
It sounds so restrictive, but he says it's freedom.
It's the classic paradox. Discipline equals freedom. By removing the choice when he's weak, he frees himself from the nightly willpower battle. The decision is already made.
Now, for all this talk about AI and isolation, he actually has some really good social connection hacks because loneliness will kill you.
It absolutely will.
All right.
But maintaining friendships is hard. It's high friction. So he has this thing called the 15-second friendship.
I actually tried this after I read the notes. It feels like cheating, but it works.
Well, it's brilliant, right?
Right.
You just call a friend, and as soon as they pick up, you say, hey, no time to talk, just thinking of you, hope you're doing great, and you hang up.
It takes away all the pressure. Because I don't call my old college friend because I feel like I need an hour to properly catch up, so I just don't call at all.
Exactly. The perfect becomes the enemy of the good. The 15-second call just keeps the connection alive. It waters the social plant.
And he has the Don't Die fam, this group that meets up, takes shots of olive oil.
It sounds a little culty on the surface.
A little bit.
But they do this fascinating thing. After the olive oil, they take a moment and they apologize to their bodies.
Sorry, liver, for that glass of wine.
Pretty much. But think about the psychology of that. Instead of treating your body like a machine, you're just running into the ground, you're treating it like something precious you're caring for. You're building a relationship with your own biology.
And doing it with a group normalizes it. It makes it a shared value.
It makes health a community project, not just this lonely individual grind.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Erections as a scoreboard, saunas with protective gear, firing your evening self. What's the takeaway for someone listening to this who doesn't have a hyperbaric chamber?
Yeah, the point isn't to copy him exactly. Please do not bring ice packs into your local gym sauna. You will get some very strange looks.
Right, don't be that guy.
The takeaway is the mindset. It's about agency. This so what is that you can fire your evening self tonight? That costs nothing. You can decide right now that after 8 p.m. the kitchen's closed because your sleep is more valuable than that snack.
It's about taking back the controls.
It is. And he has this really beautiful way of looking at the past. He says, don't grieve the health mistakes you made. Don't beat yourself up for what you did in your 20s.
I like that. Because it's so easy to feel guilty about that stuff.
He says to invert that thinking. Be thrilled that you are alive now. We're at this one moment in history where we're finally starting to understand how this amazing biological machine actually works. You have the tools today to change your future.
You have the agency, starting with your very next choice.
That's it. Whether it's putting your phone down an hour earlier tonight or sending that 15-second message to a friend, the goal is just to keep playing the game.
That is a really powerful place to leave things. We might not achieve immortality, but we can definitely live better starting right now.
And maybe sleep a little deeper.
Absolutely. Thanks for breaking all this down with us. We'll see you on the next one. Don't die.